Hello, everybody. Welcome to Elite Outcome Academy. I was just sitting here taking some notes about how to better my life. This is officially episode 1 of the actual podcast. I am so excited to put this episode out because everything that is posted previous to this video is all me taking attempts and just taking imperfect action. This is no different, except I want to make it official and record an episode that is a good breakdown of what it is that I do here in the academy. Why I do what I do, why I do it. This academy is for those that have reached a point in their lives that they know they need to make change. They've gained some awareness, they've had some experience in making attempts, and they have not quite yet figured out what it is that they need to do. I believe that through my own struggle and my own journey, I have found a pretty comprehensive way to put that together. I talk about psychology and biology. I talk about neurology and who we are as a complete species, a complete makeup of our human experience. I talk about quantum physics and the metaphysical, how we are linked somehow through some form of consciousness, as well as through the topics and design that we get from religion and Christianity. I talk about our opinions and our beliefs. I talk about how the personal development world and self-help world is heavily lacking in provable evidence-based formats. I think maybe the only one that really exists in completion of that is through Andy Frisella and the 75 Hard program. But I sit somewhere in between frou-frou, woo-woo, pie in the sky, hippy-dippy spirituality, as well as in between brute force. There's a lot of that out in the world. And I think if we look at something comparable, might be Chris Williamson. I love the topic of transformation. It is my purpose. I am driven towards my own transformation as well as helping others as well. The perspectives that I have are a spiritual gift of mine. I can take somebody's life and put it on paper and figure out pretty closely what they are meant to do, as I have first done so for mine. We talk about mindset, and we talk about all of the ideas that are out there and how they correlate and what we can do to use them. I struggle deeply with my presence in this realm of mortality, and we talk about that as well. Elite Outcome Academy is a place for those like you and me who resonate on a wave of general loneliness and need somewhere and someone to commune with. I talk about how generationally things have become so chaotic, how I can see the correlation and causation of how things have worked out over the last 100+ years. I have a unique perspective as I am the third generation of an 85-year period. talk about my life stories, my traumas, my experiences, and how I have been able to collect a unique amount of data in observation and perspective throughout my life, and I utilize it to create relatability. I talk about struggle. I talk about my beef with the industry of recovery and healing. I talk about how my perspective on those things are a little bit different. Talk about identity and what it means to be who you are and why and how and what you are made of. We talk about finding different forms of consciousness. I don't believe that we are made up of different entity types, like your mind or your thoughts not being of you. I absolutely, wholeheartedly believe that they are. I also think that we are influenced spiritually. I talk about all things that have to do with our full encompassing experience on this planet, in our mortality, in our existence, because without one another and without understanding how we can influence and improve and empower each other, we would have nothing. We used to live in a tribalistic, nomadic, small village type existence, and we talk about that and why our instincts are so out of whack. I talk about anxiety and depression, and I talk about how we probably are experiencing those things because instinctually we are meant to be doing something worthwhile because we once had to, in order to contribute to not only our own survival, but to the survival of our communities. And I believe that I can help repair some of that. We have a huge gap between what we should be doing and where we actually are. Talk about how we can develop leadership for ourselves and for our families, for our communities, for our careers and businesses and so forth, and how it is incredibly important to develop the confidence, self-belief, and self-trust that you are capable of mattering. Talk about all things here in Elite Outcome Academy, because ultimately we need to become an elite version of ourselves so that the next generation does not have to inherit a world that is so torturous and chaotic, all while simultaneously being so beautiful and more abundant than ever. It is a paradox. Homelessness and drug use and addiction and mental health are at an all-time high, and I think that we can do something about it, but we can't attack it in its present form. We have to get ahead of it so that it does not affect the next generation so poorly. It will take time and it will fade if we do the work. We have adult aged people that are stunted to an adolescent level of emotional and relational maturity, and we have to fix that. We cannot keep allowing adult age children to raise new children who do also not know how to become functioning adults, because nobody knows how anymore. We have to make a real, lasting difference in this world. And I, as the first student of this academy have transformed my life in ways unimaginable. I will tell those stories. I will put out an episode every single day for the next year while I tell my story, while I transform even further and become a leader in the transformation and thought industry. I will make an impact. It is what has been put on my heart to do. It is not because I want to. I would rather stay quiet, stay docile. But we don't live in a world where I have that luxury. By nature, I am very mediocre. By life experience, I have become dangerous. And through my passion and empathy, I've created something that will allow societal change to happen. I have the audacity to believe that I can raise a generation of leaders that are still stuck in the ashes of chaos. And I wrote a quote that is my favorite, which says, "We shine our armor with the oil of adversity, and I, through this academy, will help to squeeze the oil out of your adversity by sharing how I did it with me first." There's a horizon that we are all attempting to reach as we wage through the war of an open field of confusion and chaos. There is a mountain that will raise us to be above it. We are all on the battlefield. But we must climb. We must do the work. We must battle, because there is no need for the craziness. We are reaching a period of enlightenment, which is why the evils and chaos of the world are so rampant right now, because the devil himself would rather see the earth on fire than to see it shine in the glory of God. It is up to us to make change. It is up to us to make a difference. It is up to us to become so responsible over what we've experienced that we use it for wisdom rather than victimhood. We must fight. We must fight our own laziness and lack of discipline. We must fight the opinions and beliefs of others who make us think that we are not worthwhile. We must fight the mental health that keeps us from pursuing our dreams. We must fight to make change in our lives, to learn how to communicate, to learn how to relate, to learn how to gain perspectives and ideas that are beyond survival mode. We must get beyond survival mode. I have been through it all. And I don't need you to believe me on that. I hope that as I share my stories and as I create a following here on YouTube and elsewhere, I will be able to find enough people that have also been through the absolute chaos of life and the experience that has come before, that I won't need to prove myself. There's still some self-consciousness in that, but that's okay. I talk about vulnerability and willing to be vulnerable in order to be reassuring that we are all going through absolute ridiculousness because our human nature was designed to suffer, but not to become insufferable, but to become triumphant. My greatest desire is to see a new generation rise with the capability and capacity of self-leadership, of compassion, of a willingness to make our human experience that of which has never been before done. Where those that need real help can get it. Where those that feel the need to escape their lives don't have to, and for those that have something innovative can shine in more ways that are helpful. I wonder sometimes why so many people remain in ignorance. But I also understand it, because though we say ignorance is bliss, it is so much deeper than that. Ignorance is a lack of accountability, and if you are not accountable, then you don't have to step up. Truthfully, most people are quite smart and choose to remain in ignorance. I hope to change that. Inside of the Academy itself is a program designed intentionally to help people transform. This is my soapbox. If you want to know more about the Academy, just reach out and I can get you that information. Since this is episode 1 and I am building lots of things out, all I can offer right now is one-on-one coaching. But if you're listening to this, thank you. Because that means you've come back. You've gone back in the timeline of my YouTube channel to discover more of what it is that I have to say. And I will continue saying it. One of the greatest difficulties that I've had to overcome is understanding that I have to repeat myself. And frankly, that's okay. I have a dream. I'm going to state it here on episode 1. I have a dream to be amongst the great hall of podcasters and thought leaders and influencers. I seek to have conversations with people like Chris Williamson and Andrew Huberman. Perhaps even audacious enough to say Joe Rogan. To be in the presence of people like Tony Robbins and Ed Milet and Andy Frisella. I state it here as a form of manifestation. I have gotten close at times. And I will return. As an author, as a creative, as a speaker, as an influencer per se, as a podcaster, as somebody who has something to say, I will make this dream happen. And I will return the favor to the community in the form of physical academy locations, online academy workflows, through coaching and recreating and developing even stronger and more influential strategies. Elite Outcome Academy's curriculum is based on an A to Z or K through 12 type structure. We have to learn the basics. We have to return to the basics if we once learned them. And then we have to go and learn about our identity. Who we are, what we're made of, why we're made of it. And then we can heal our traumas. And then we return to leadership development. It's the 4-phase approach that I introduce in the academy. And it's quite impressive, if I may say so myself. It is what has transformed my life. I have a no hypocrisy approach to the academy. After all of my years and years and years of studying human behavior and business development and mindset and personal development and self-help frameworks, I discovered that there are very, very limited designs on true transformation. There's not enough vocabulary in this world that one can consume in book form or audio form or in-person motivational speeches and seminar form that can really make a difference. We need strategy. So as I went on my journey of overcoming my deepest and darkest moments, my deepest and darkest and so deeply rooted self-sabotaging behaviors, I documented the concepts, the strategies, the efforts, the perceptions, and I created curriculum out of them just in case I was able to prove that they worked. And as a witness to you on this camera today, it does. I have lots more transformation to do. You can follow on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and wherever it is that Elite Outcome Academy exists. I will share with you my transformation journey. Right now, I am beginning part of my physical transformation. I've been working on it the last couple of months in my shoulder and chest build, but I now need to lose some weight to really get shredded and build more muscle. I will share my transformations and epiphanies as they happen. I also will provide group coaching and community for those that come along this journey. It's going to be amazing, life-changing, and I look forward to experiencing it with you. With that being said, become elite. Thanks for coming to episode 1, and find somebody to be kind to today.